In the first episode of this new show that I've made, Two Dudes Hanging Out, I'm talking to Brad Farnell. He's the owner and founder of Infinite Crypto. Check it out.
Hey, Rico, thank you so much for having me on the show today, man. It's a pleasure to be here with you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brad Varnell. I am the founder of the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. You can follow me at Infinite Crypto on YouTube. I also have an Instagram. I believe it's at My Infinite Crypto, and on Twitter at Brad V7007. And yeah, man, it's just a pleasure to be here with you, man. How you doing today?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Great for taking the time to talk to me, to do this podcast. It's actually the first podcast on this channel, so I'm very, very happy to have you as a guest. We talked before, obviously, and you told me a little bit about crypto, and maybe you can tell my audience how you started in crypto and what gets you enthusiastic. And
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I think this story is kind of unique, and it also is very fitting for the market conditions right now. So, back in early 2017, when crypto was nowhere near mainstream, I had a business partner and a good friend, a guy that I had done several different businesses and stuff with. We were always searching for financial freedom, looking to have time and money. So many people have one or the other. They have a lot of time, but they're broke, or they have a lot of money, but they don't have any time because they spend so many hours working to make the money. So we were, looking for something that would kind of give us, freedom. And he started getting involved in cryptocurrency way back in 2017. In fact, he tried to get me to buy a little token called Ethereum, you might have heard of, at
I do.
$9. And guess how many I bought at $9? None. Yeah. I was so resistant for some reason, as so many people are. Probably a lot of the people that you'll have watching this video will be able to relate. It just didn't make sense to me. What is it? Cryptocurrency. There's nothing tangible. I can't hold it. I don't know. For me, it was something that I just didn't jump in. So I
Yeah.
watched him in 2017 accumulating Ethereum. He was also buying up a project called Ant Shares that then became Neo. Well, that token was about 20 cents when he found out about it, and it ran up to a peak of $196 during the bull run. And long story short, I watched him turn about $9,500 in 2017 into $2.2 million by the beginning of 2018. So, needless to say, that got my attention. And I dove in head first into crypto in the December of 2017 and got just enough crypto, a few $100s worth here and there, to really enjoy a 2 or 3 week massive run up. Like Ripple ran from about a quarter to $3.60. So here it was, January of 2018. And I thought, this is fantastic. I'm going to be a millionaire in the
Yeah.
next few months. But as we know, then came the bear. Bitcoin went crashing down from its all-time high of almost 20,000, and in 2018, 2019, 2020 went all the way down to a low of about 32 to 3,500, depending on who you ask. And basically, I lost 90% plus on every single token I invested in. But one thing that my mentor told me, his nickname was Hodler, HODL, Hodler,
Yeah. Yeah.
JK Hodler. His name was Jonathan Kelly, and we all called him JK Hodler. So, he probably made the mistake of holding his for too long too. He didn't cash out at 2.2 million, but at the same time, you know, I never sold any of my crypto. He taught me, one important lesson in crypto is don't invest money that you can't afford to leave in the market long term. So thank God I was in a position and I invested money that, even though it sucked when I pulled open my Blockfolio and looked at my balance, I didn't have to sell anything. And so I was blessed in 2021 when the market came roaring back. All of a sudden, I mean, I had tokens that came back from 90% stuck to giving me 10, 20, 30, 50 X's.
Wow.
And, so I was actually able to, quit my job. My wife has quit her job. And at this point, we're living, off of crypto and the investments that I've made. And it's been a pretty exciting journey.
So basically, when everybody got hit during the crash, you just sat still and just, you know, basically waited and kept holding everything. Did you still dollar cost average in when that happened, or did you just, how did that go?
Yeah, no, I was definitely dollar cost averaging. There was just something. I had this belief when I got involved in crypto. I really studied into blockchain technology and I really understood the power of it. And I knew, just like cell phones, way back, in the 80s or whatever, it took a long time for cell phones to go from great big, huge, clunky things that only rich people, could afford, to going out to the masses. I've heard stories about Microsoft and the computer generation. Most people thought that that was just going to be a small thing, for offices, and that nobody ever envisioned it becoming mainstream. Now, I mean, I've got two kids, my wife, we've probably got 6 or 7 laptops between us, 2 or 3 desktops. I mean, there's literally at least 10 computers inside my house.
So,
And I just knew that crypto was going in that direction. It was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. And it took way longer than I thought it was going to. Don't get me wrong. It was a little tough. But at the same time, what was my options? Like, what was I going to go do besides crypto that was going to create this massive wealth and freedom? I didn't have any other options. And to be frank, the crypto was down so far that it didn't make sense to sell it. That's part of the reason that I held, is I was almost forced into diamond hands when you've got
yeah.
$1,000 into a project and it's worth $50. Uh,
Yeah,
but
you might as
yes, I
well keep
definitely,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely kept buying though. I bought in 18, I bought in 19, I bought in 20. I even, I was buying in 2021 during bull markets. It's a fun time to buy too, because a lot of times in the bull market, if you're picking the right tokens, you never have to experience that pain. They just go up, up, up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been buying my whole career, and definitely still buying right now. Definitely got some tokens high up on my radar that I think there's some great bargains on.
And which tokens are you looking at to buy right now if you have the opportunity? And is there a special entry price that you're looking at, or is that a dollar cost averaging thing as well in the current market conditions? Or
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So a couple of the tokens that I really love right now are Polkadot and Chainlink. And one of the reasons that I love Polkadot, on top of all of the just the fantastic, I believe that the Polkadot ecosystem is going to flourish. But you can also earn 12% on your Polkadot in several different places. So you have to weigh the risks, because as we know, not your keys, not your crypto. So in order to get 12%, I hold my Polkadot on the Nexo platform and the Voyager platform.
oh yeah,
Both of those are, worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. They're both established. They've both been around a long time, and I feel pretty comfortable holding some stuff there. But I always recommend that you never hold all of your stuff, all of your crypto in 1 or 2 spots like that, because they can freeze it. They can, whatever, they can tell you, hey, we heard you were a terrorist, and
yeah.
while we investigate, we're going to shut your account down. So I don't recommend doing that with all of your crypto by any means, but that's what I'm doing. I love getting 12% on my Polkadot when I'm buying it at $9, $10 right now. And I think it's going to be a $200 to $500 asset eventually. And I'm earning 12% on it. I don't have a price target where, hey, when it hits this, I'm going to buy. It is more of a dollar cost average. And I do look for, bloody days. So, when it tanked down, it was $12 not too long ago. When it tanked down from 12 to 8 something, going on 9 for a little bit, that was a good time to jump in and buy a few more. I'm definitely keeping a very close eye on the market. And if we end up with any more pain in Bitcoin, and and these tokens go down by another 25 or 50%, then I'll definitely be looking to add to my bag some more.
That's something that I wonder as well. Is there, let's say the market, it's around, I checked today, it was like $29,800, something like that, Bitcoin. If the market tanks more, so let's say Bitcoin tanks to around, let's make it 17,500. I mean, that's very low, but let's say it does. Would that change your opinion or a view on the tokens that you're interested in? Or would that stay the same, and would you just go after those?
Another great question. So for those of you that don't know, I'm not even you. I'm sure you've heard through the grapevine, but I broke my leg uh, since we talked. Or
Yeah, you
or
told, how's
rather,
your
right,
leg doing? Is
so
it
So my leg is fantastic. I actually have the boot off right now, and I'm walking around on it. But if Bitcoin went down to 17,000, I would jump out of this chair and I'd dance for you guys. So don't get me wrong. I'm not liking this bear market any more than anybody else. But I also know that your mindset is so important. I can't control the market. All I can control is my reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then what do I do? Like I play a lot of poker. And in poker, there's a lot of times where a very good situation turns into a very bad situation. And you have to make the best decision that you can make in the current situation. You can't be upset that this great situation turned into a bad situation. You just have to make the best decision. So at this point, I'm almost rooting for Bitcoin to do that, because at 29,000, everything's still way, 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 way down to where I'm not thinking about selling anything. And really, unless it goes all the way back up to 50, 60, 70, 80,000, it's not going to make a big difference in my portfolio. So jumping back up from 29 to 35 or 40 is going to do nothing. So I would almost, if it's not going to just go for it and head all the way back up to all-time highs, let it crash as much as it wants. It doesn't scare me at all. I've been hearing that Bitcoin is going to zero for 10 years. Even before I started investing in it, I heard about Bitcoin back in 13, 14, 15. And so I've heard, hey, it's going to zero. It doesn't have any value. It's just there's nothing there. And that's all from people that either, one, don't understand it, or two, the guys that want to buy it as cheap as they can. There's a lot of elite, wealthy, multi-millionaire, billionaire type people that want to buy Bitcoin at 17,000. Believe me, in 2017, 2018, JP Morgan was, on like CNN talking about Bitcoin going to zero. And the whole time in the background, he was creating the infrastructure to be able to onboard Bitcoin and offer it to his clients. So when these guys are on the news and talking about how it's worthless and it's going to zero, I just smile to myself. And so, yeah, man, if it went down to 17 grand, I would be buying up everything that I can. So the one difference in my strategy right now is during a bull market, I do like to do some speculating on low cap gems.
Oh yeah.
And so if you go back and check out my channel back in July and August of last year, I had a lot of, $1 million to $20 million market cap tokens that I talked about. But right now, in this type of a bear market, I totally flip. And right now, when you can buy the top 25 at these prices, so when you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, Matic, Chainlink, those are some of my top coins, and they're beaten down so far right now that anybody that's new to crypto, especially, I would recommend, don't go searching for that $10 million market cap micro cap gem.
Nice.
Just go buy these blue chips. Buy these tokens while they're beaten down. You're going to be able to make 10, 25, 50 times on your money during the next bull run just by buying the blue chips. I mean, how sweet would it be to be able to buy Amazon and Google and Microsoft 90% discount?
So basically, if I get it right, it would, if Bitcoin drops even more, it would change your view a little bit on the tokens that you're buying, because you'd go like, hey, I'd look at the top 25 because they've been beaten down a lot as well, and then probably use that as an investment rather than a Polkadot, for instance, or...
Well, I forget exactly what rank Polkadot is. I think it's about 11th right now. So if Bitcoin were to go down to 17.5, everything else is going to follow it. So Polkadot would still probably be in that ranking roughly. So, I would expect that if Bitcoin drops all the way down to 17.5, we'll probably get at least a 50, maybe even a 75% crash on the altcoins, which would be unbelievable to me to be able to get Polkadot. Like if Polkadot crashed another 75% down to $2.50, I mean, I'd be selling stuff. I mean, at garage sales and cars and clothes. I mean, I might have to go back and get a job. Seriously, like I love my freedom, but if I could go work somewhere and earn money and buy Polkadot at $2.50 a Polkadot, man, I might have to go, think about getting a temporary job.
Go back to work again. and so, because I'm heavy in Solana. It's one of the bigger things in my portfolio. It has me worried a little bit because the price is pretty low in comparison to what I got in, even though I did it with the profits from a different token. But and I was in Solana when it was around $30, like last year or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and then it moved up and down, blah blah blah. So, what are your thoughts on Crypto.com? Because I don't know if you heard what happened to that. They slashed their rates. It was like 10% that you got API, and it's now 2%. And there was a lot of stuff going on with their credit card as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but are you familiar with the CRO, and what are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I invested in crypto.com back before Crow was the only token they had. Right off the top of my head, I can't think of the other token that used to be associated with crypto.com, but they used to have two tokens, and they went to a one token system a while back, probably a couple of years ago now. And so I had one of the cards, I think it was the Ruby. I don't remember exactly how many tokens I had to own. It was only a few $1,000s worth at the time. But I never got super excited about crypto.com because in order to get up to the higher levels where you were getting, say, 5% cash back, you had to invest like
Yeah.
$250,000 in order to get to that tier. And it just doesn't make sense for most people, and especially for only 5%. So I did use crypto.com. I staked some tokens there, but I never fully really loved their platform. And then, yeah, with what they've done, they've just opened the door wide open for other platforms to come in and, scoop up incredible market share. So I love Nexo. I love Celsius. Unfortunately, as an American, both of those companies have had a little bit of trouble with the SEC originally. So all of the tokens that I have in those platforms were grandfathered in, and I'm still earning interest on them. But as of right now, any new tokens that I were to deposit into those platforms would not earn me any interest. Now, Celsius just came out and they're going to create like a staking platform. So it sounds like if you're staking your tokens, they can legally give you interest. Where before all you had to do was hold them on the platform. You didn't have to stake them. And I'm hoping that Nexo follows suit because I don't mind staking my favorite tokens, especially if it's just like 30 days or even 90-day locks.
Yeah.
I'm not great. I don't like year locks where, if the pump really, if a huge pump comes in, I'm totally locked in. But 30-day, 60-day, 90-day locks don't bother me. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I'm not invested in crypto.com anymore. I've pulled out everything that I basically had except for my referral tokens. I guess I still own a little Crow
Oh yeah.
because every time you share your referral link, you get some Crow, and I haven't bothered to sell that. But yeah, it's unfortunate because when they bought the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Lakers used to play in the Staples Center, and then crypto.com bought that not too long ago. So now the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the highest profile basketball teams in ever, plays in the crypto.com arena. So while they were on a trajectory to really create massive, upswing and upward movement in their token, I think they've kind of blown it and dropped the ball recently.
Yeah, it makes sense. As soon as I see all those Reddit posts as well, and people are concerned or complaining that they lose their API, and then some say, well, you can still use their DeFi wallet and still get a decent API. Well, I was like, well, they're doing Formula One, I believe. They're doing the UFC. They've got that arena. I was like, they can really become big. And the thing I remember from Crypto.com is that they did things differently. So if you have like Binance, they started and then they started to get licenses and stuff. And Crypto.com changed it around. It was like, first we're going to get licensed and then we're going to scale our business, which gives them a head start when it comes to doing business in Europe, for instance. But then, like I said, those messages came and I was like, oh man, what's happening here? It's their price went went to like 18 cents or something. It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Beaten way down. So Celsius has gotten beaten down quite a bit too. Nexo is down over 50% in just the last few weeks. So all of those types of platforms are having a little bit of struggle in this market. That's a great time to, maybe think about accumulating some of those.
Mm.
I was lucky. I've been in Nexo since it was about 10 to 15 cents.
And for those that are watching right now that don't know what Nexo is, could you like explain it in like a few minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. So Nexo is a platform where you can hold your crypto and they pay you interest for holding your crypto. So at this point, they've got a pretty nice little list of probably 40 or 50 tokens and a lot of the top tier tokens. So you can hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, Polkadot. I was going to say Luna, but that's not a top tier token anymore.
No.
Solana, you can hold your Solana on there, your Avalanche. So many of these, top tier tokens you can hold and you can earn, a pretty nice interest. Like, they were paying 5 or 6% on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is pretty respectable compared to a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
Like I said, on Polkadot, I was getting 12%. And then they have a staking feature where if you're willing to lock your Polkadot for 30 days, you actually get 2 extra%. So I've got my Polkadot on there at 14%. Same thing with my Matic. I've seen a lot of platforms where you're only earning a few percent on Matic, Polygon. I'm getting 12% with a 2% bonus for locking it 30 days at a time. So I'm earning 14% on my Matic. But the main reason that I love the platform is because we're buying crypto. At some point in time, we expect that crypto to become worth, a lot of money. But now, how do you realize that profit? Well, you have a couple of ways to go. You can obviously sell, and then you take your capital gains, but now you owe taxes on it, and then you don't have an asset. The asset's gone once you sell it. And one of the things that I've figured out is that the wealthy and the elite, they do the best that they can to hold their assets. They're looking to accumulate assets, not sell their assets. And so with a platform like Nexo, you can actually borrow against the crypto that you have in the platform. So say you have $1 million worth of your crypto in Nexo and you decide that you want to buy a house and you need a couple $100,000 for a down payment, you can literally collateralize $200,000 worth of your crypto, pull out $200,000 and go use that for the down payment on your house, and it's still your crypto. So if it continues to go up, you realize all of the profits, and you can do that for about a 6%, 6.9%, fee, 6.9% APR on the loan, which is a lot better than the capital gains tax. Even on a lower amount of money, you're probably looking at 15 or 20% here in the US. And if you're getting up there into the higher income brackets, you could be paying all the way up to 35% in capital gains. And then your interest is also a write-off. So if you're paying 6.9%
Yeah.
interest on a loan,
Same
there's
here.
technically a write-off. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Is you earn money on your crypto while you're waiting for it to go up. And then once it's where you want it to be, you can start realizing some of your profits without actually selling your crypto and not having it for, to continue to go up, because this market's not going to just go up over the next 2 to 5 years. For the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 years, depending on how long, we're all here for, crypto is going to continue to go up. And the more of it you can own and the longer you can own it for, the wealthier you're going to get.
And what happens when the price drops? Because if it goes up, obviously that's great. But what if it drops and you've collateralized? Let's say you've got $1 million, you've collateralized 200,000, but then all of a sudden it drops, and then what?
Absolutely. And that is a great question, and something that everybody should have on their mind. And it's something that you want to definitely keep a close eye on. So the way that these platforms work is, the reason that they can do this is they do have the crypto as collateral. So if crypto starts going down and all of a sudden your portfolio gets down to where it's only worth, 225, 250,000, we have one of these 75, 80% retracements, then they can start to liquidate your assets in order to keep the loan value down, so that they're not risking you defaulting. So it's a pretty sweet spot for them. They never have to worry about not getting paid, which is one of the reasons they can do it for 6.9%. But at the same time, if you don't go crazy, so like Bitcoin, Ethereum, sometimes you'll have a 50 or 60% um, loan to borrow value. So if you have $1 million in Bitcoin, you could borrow 500,000. So one of the ways that you protect yourself is you never want to collateralize yourself all the way to the highest levels. The other one is like we were mentioning before, your keys, your crypto. I would expect that if you have $1 million in crypto in the Nexo platform, you probably have some outside of the Nexo platform. So if the markets look like they're going to start crashing, you can always add some crypto to Nexo to keep yourself afloat and to keep it from, being liquidated. And you can also, if you see something like this coming, maybe, sometimes you do just have to sell. I've learned a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, and there's definitely some times where I wish I would have taken more profits, maybe bit the bullet a little bit on the taxes,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to have a few $100,000 lying around in stable coins right now to be able to slurp up some of these deals. So if your crypto's in
Except in UST, because then everything
yeah,
would have been gone.
except the UST, but I think you're pretty safe if you've got USDC. Some people are a little bit worried about Tether, so
Yeah.
USDC, I think Tether's pretty safe. I don't think you got to worry too much about Tether. The other thing is the writing usually is kind of on the wall with Terra Luna and UST being a brand new thing, and people didn't understand it, including me. Like I bought some Luna at $15
Right.
because I just did not totally understand the inflation, all of the tokens that were being created, and I didn't understand that there was probably no chance of it coming back. So I bought a little at 15. I bought some more at 4. I thought, man, if it was a good deal at 15,
Yeah.
it's $4 is amazing. And then I bought a million Luna when it was 0.001 for $100. Thought, you know what? I could take $100 bill, rip it up, and throw it out the
Yeah.
window, and it's not going to change my life. So I threw $100 at it, got a million of them. But yeah, those ones that I bought at $15 and even $4, I feel pretty silly about.
I did the same thing. It dropped, and then I threw €100. I was like, I might as well gamble, why not? So then I threw $100, and then eventually I threw in €1,200, and I lost it all. Which is stupid because I thought I learned from all the months that I've been in crypto that I wouldn't be greedy and stuff. And then suddenly when I had a 7x, even in this market, I had a 7x. I was like, okay. And then it dropped a little bit, and I was like, okay, if it's back to 6, times 6, I'll sell it again. It never went back to times 6. And then I lost everything. Which was pretty gnarly. But one thing I was very happy about because is the fact that I was actually looking at the Anchor protocol, which would give you a 19.5 API. And then due to this market, because like I said in the previous conversation we had, I diversified, so I've got some stuff in like assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum and stuff, but I also have something in stable coins on things like BlockFi, for instance. So then Anchor protocol would be great as well because, you get 19.5% API. On the bank, you get nothing. So why not? So I was about to move some money there, but then, I don't know, life got in between or something, So I didn't do it. I postponed it a little bit and then, bam, UST gone. I was so happy because if I would have put that amount that I was thinking about into the Anchor protocol and I would have lost it all, it wouldn't bankrupt me or anything, but it would definitely hurt my trust in the whole crypto space and maybe even make me sell everything off, because I'd lose my sanity, I guess. But now, because everything, luckily fell into place, I'm still in crypto. I'm staying in crypto. I'm here to stay. I'm built to last. But that almost got me. And the one thing that worries me is because I heard I'm not sure how much of it is true because I'm not a journalist and I can't fact check. But they say that they made some backdoor deals behind the markets and that was the reason why everything crashed. And we have to consider or remember the fact that there are a lot of people that had a lot of money in it that lost a lot of money, that maybe some even think about contemplating suicide. And I think it's very, very bad for the crypto world that this happened with such a project as UST and Terra, you know?
I agree. It is. It's super sad. It's it sets the crypto market back. People on the outside looking in that were getting thinking about jumping into crypto stuff like this definitely scares them away.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still just a matter of time before we get the adoption and before everything that we want to see happen happens. But this stuff doesn't help, and you know, it's just unfortunate. There's a lot of people out there that don't care how they make the money. Where I was always raised that money not made right isn't going to spend right,
I,
and uh, and I just so what they did may or may not have been illegal, especially in the wild west of crypto, but it was certainly unethical, immoral, and and yeah, they no thought at all to the people, that they were going to hurt. It's like, stealing somebody's car or stealing their bike or something. These people, they steal it, they sell it, they have fun with the money, but they have no remorse. They don't think about the guy who lost their bike, the
I,
little kid that's crying because his bike's gone and that kind of stuff. And I was lucky. My dad always raised me, that being high integrity, being honest, and looking and only doing things in win-win situations will get you much farther in life
yeah.
every single time than the alternative. It just takes a little bit more time. The right way sometimes is a little slower than the wrong way, but long term, the right way will always prevail.
Yeah, they always say in Dutch we have a saying which is eerlijkheid duurt het langst, which basically means honesty takes the longest, but it's the best to do, you know. So
Amen.
so what's one of the things before we wrap this up? What's one of the things you want to give my audience as an form of
Yeah, absolutely.
advisor?
I mean, first and foremost, I want to give you guys some hope. There's a lot of people out there, and hopelessness is probably one of the most miserable things in the world. Bring makes my eyes water just thinking about it, because I know there's a lot of folks out there like me that got into crypto because they thought and believed that it could change their life. And right now they're teetering on the edge. They're not sure anymore if crypto can really change their life. And I'm here to tell you that it can. I went through it. I lost everything in 18, 19, 20. I mean, it's amazing that my wife stood by me. Now, luckily, I was using money that didn't affect our life. I mean, I never used the bill money, and I never was, I was never irresponsible in my investing, but every single extra penny that I got and that I earned was going into crypto. And I know, I mean, I had to tell her over and over and over and over, hey, babe, I promise it's just a matter of time. I know I told you we were going to be able to go on this amazing vacation this year, and now crypto is still, crummy. And I literally, my kids, my wife, I had to, really tell them. And thank God I had the belief that I did, because it would have been so easy to get knocked out. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to ramble on, but hope. I promise you, if you stay true to the course right now, unless we end up with like World War III, where nukes are getting dropped and nobody cares about money anymore, anyways, or unless Jesus comes back and takes us all up to heaven, if neither of those two things happen, crypto will make you wealthy. It could take 2 to 5 years. It might not be in the next 3 to 6 months, although I'm optimistic that we're going to see a little bit of green still this year. It's not going to just be all doom and gloom. But in the next 2 to 5 years, if you stay true to the course, you keep accumulating the right projects, those things that we talked about, Solana. I love Solana because you're probably earning what, 6.5, 7% on your Solana if you've got it staked through the right validator. So Solana is another great one that you can be earning some good interest on. But stick with those top 20, top 25s: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, Matic, Polkadot, Chainlink, and you will be happy in a couple of years. You will be able to talk, show all of the haters, all of the
Yeah,
naysayers
yeah,
that you were
nah.
right. It's inevitable, man. Like, crypto is going nowhere. and don't let all of this fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market knock you out. If Bitcoin drops down to 17 or even down to 12 or 13, rejoice, jump up, dance on your broken leg, and buy some more if you can.
That's great, man. I'm going to take that to heart for myself as well whenever I'm in doubt about the whole crypto space, knowing that, hey, man, Brad will probably tell me, keep dancing, keep smiling. So thank you very much for being a host on my channel, for being a guest on my channel. I had fun talking to you. Thank you for your insights and your crypto story. Please tell me, I'll put the link to your channel, obviously, in the description down below. Is there any other social you want them to check out, or?
I might have you send them to my Twitter or something, so I'll send you the link. But yeah, before we go, I want to say, to all of you that are viewing, and especially if this is your first time on the channel, go subscribe to Crypto with Rico, man. He is a fantastic content creator. If you go watch a couple of his videos, you will be hooked. I was just watching a couple of videos that he did on a project called Meta X. And man, you really provide a lot of value with your channel, Rico. So I really want to tell everybody that's here, hit the like button for him. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please subscribe to the channel.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Awesome.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to having you on my channel and being able to share you with my community.
Awesome. Great. Thanks. And that's it. I hope you like it. All the socials are in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Doei!